had a lot to do with Apollonia.
You gotta,
like, how do you get Apollonia? You gotta be like Prince.
And you can tell that his age because, you know, everybody else thinks Vanity before Apollonia.
Apollonia. We had her jump in that lake.
hey, you guys are tuning in. We get ready to do the interview now. But if you're listening in on fbrn.us, where you can catch the full, I believe the word unabridged edition of the Commish Radio Show, check us out on that. You'll hear these exciting revelations that are now in the National Enquirer about strip. You ain't got the money like Trump got to get it quashed, man. All right, Commish Radio Show back again. You're listening in to, well, who was that?
That was Cinderella by Eldbars Jr. Shout out to Faz Nation.
Yep, we always do that. Eldbars, you didn't know that?
No.
You come on our show.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. That's the way we do it on the Commish Radio Show.
That's
you know, Elder, well, how did it sound?
That was great. I mean, I just have not heard that Eldbars Jr. was an artist.
Well, your entourage was dancing to it the last time he was up over here.
Entourage.
You have an entourage. Yeah.
That's news to me.
All superstars have entourages. That's what it is. That's what it is. But hey, while we are talking about making people, well, Cinderella, which is like it's the name of the track is Cinderella. Okay, Cinderella. But we want to go ahead and segue from Cinderella to somebody else we're promoting this week. This is our Commish Radio Show Book of the Week, From a Letter Man to a Better Man. That is P.K. Williams. He was involved in the Carter High School robberies of the 1980s. You know, right after Carter High School, they did some robberies and did some things they shouldn't have did, but they turned their lives around. And this is as seen in the ESPN 30 for 30 documentary, What Carter Lost, and portrayed in the feature film, Carter High, A True Story. So go ahead and pick this one up. And he wrote in here to Ed Gray, thank you for your support. And I happen to be in this book. I wrote the prologue to it. So I'm in the book as well. There's Ed Gray.
Oh, I see that. Yeah.
So go ahead and pick that up. I also highly recommend it. Another good friend, attorney of mine, Royce West is in the book as well. He was one of the ones who wrote a letter of recommendation, if you will, for P.K. Williams, From a Letter Man to a Better Man. So that's our book of the week. Pick it up, go on Goodreads, go to Amazon. I mean, you know, hey, even Jesse got a book. I don't know whether he's going to sell you his, but he don't sell his books too often. He's up reading the latest book from James Comey on the Trump administration. Don't laugh, Strip. Just stay focused. Stay focused.
Okay, yeah, because I thought that was a joke.
Yeah. But we're talking about Donald Trump. So, you know, it's real now. It's real in the field. How many days before election?
Well, today is the 21st, and Election Day is the 22nd of May. So 1 month till Election Day, but of course early voting starts May 14th through 18th. So everybody, please early vote.
May 14th, wait a minute, what was that again?
May 14th through 18th.
Okay, May 14th through 18th, all right, election time. Bridgett, Whitmore. Where'd you go to school at? Now, this setup question.
Booker T.
Okay. And after that?
Yale University.
Yale University. That was one of the questions that people ask as well about the attorneys that were running for office, and this is where I was leading back to the experience issue, is that the uninformed electorate, you know, we seem to have people that are running for office that obviously are not qualified. What qualifies you to serve on a civil district bench? And also explain to those people out there that are listening that anytime they think of a judge, it's always funny though, anytime they think of a judge, they think of somebody that can put you in jail for something, and it's normally, when they think about it, it's normally a criminal.
Yes.
So explain the difference between the criminal and the civil.
A civil court judge only handles cases where there are monetary damages, or you're asking for some sort of what we call injunctive relief, which is basically, I need for something to stop and stop happening. We don't put anybody in jail. We don't take any lives. It's mostly about money. And so that's the biggest difference in a civil court. There are a lot of other things, but for people, in a simplified manner to explain, it's monetary as opposed to loss of life or liberty. With civil courts, I know a lot of people, my people, say, well, how does this affect me? I mean, usually we have issues in criminal court, or we have issues in family court. Why I think it's important that we see some diversity in the civil courts is because I think we are going to start seeing, especially after all these issues that we've had with these police brutality cases, where we're not seeing justice in the criminal courts. We're going to have to start taking our cases to the civil courts to get some sort of justice. And it's hugely important that we now have a little bit more diversity on these civil courts.
So on a criminal court, it's beyond a reasonable doubt?
It is beyond a reasonable doubt.
Okay, in civil court, it's not a beyond a reasonable doubt?
No. The standard, the burden of proof is much smaller, and it's preponderance of the evidence.
Okay, preponderance of evidence. So that would explain why OJ got sued in the civil court.
Absolutely, because
So
the family of the victims felt like they
that
got
was enough. First of all, they didn't feel that they got any justice.
They felt like they didn't get any justice in the criminal courts.
So the justice system failed them.
Well, depending on how you feel about that case.
The justice system. It's always ironic when you don't get what you want, the justice system fails you. And it's a matter of where you stand at in the justice system. Literally, it is.
Yes, it is. And I mean, of course, the country was very divided regarding that case at the time. I think people have since, become more unified.
Where do you think they've become more unified?
I think everybody believes OJ was guilty.
Yeah.
But I think, what we have to,
That's because of his actions after.
Well, yes, his actions afterwards. But what what the hallmark of our legal system, especially the criminal system, is, that a jury of your peers makes the decision whether of your innocence or guilt. And that the standard is beyond a reasonable doubt. So whether or not we agree with what that verdict was, the reality is the system was there, right or wrong. And, that's still an important thing, and it's still an important standard that we must uphold. And, it's hugely important that, you have the right to a jury trial. Hugely important. Because, I actually went to and spoke with some kids, and they were third graders, fourth graders. So, of course, it's extremely difficult to try to talk about the law. But, I put on a little mock trial for them. And
you could serve in the Trump administration, it's the same thing.
Well, yeah. Although I don't have much patience for children, so. But I demonstrated them with the mock trial of the importance of juries. And so I got like 12 of the students, and I did a little case, and they understood, the importance of, a unanimous jury, because, there were some students who said, I didn't believe my classmate did that. And they had the right to say that and have that voice and demonstrate the importance of a trial by jury system.
So break down preponderance of evidence.
Preponderance of the evidence is 51%. So if you just, believe by, just a smidgen, a tiny bit more, that the plaintiffs have proved their case, then that's all that's required.
That's interesting. So the burden of proof is lower, and that's pretty well it. You just
Pretty much, yes, it is.
Now, for the court that you're running for, what is the dollar amounts tied to? Or is there a difference in each court?
Well, all the district courts have the same amount, and then the county courts at law have a smaller amount in controversy, but for the most part, they can overlap.
So how much is yours?
Ours is, I believe, 50,000 to on up. To $1 million verdicts, $1 billion verdicts.
50,000 on up. Now, last question before we get ready to close out. If there's something that the verdict is like $40,000, where do they go to?
Well, the county court at laws are available for lower amounts in controversy. That's what they call them. And so those courts, we have about 5 of those in Dallas County.
Okay. Well, I wish you well in your campaign. I wish you well. It's been great having you on the show.
Thank you.
And I would like for you to come back, provided that it's a dry day.
I know, right? I know.
Because I understand you risked your life to come over.
I didn't expect that I was risking my life but it was pretty harrowing experience actually.
I'm glad you got it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So, God always looking out for me.
That's right. That's right. As we close out, tell us when election day is and give us your close.
Early voting begins May 14th through 18th, and the election day is May 22nd. It's hugely important that everyone gets out and votes, because basically you wanted me. You chose me on March 6th, and so if you want your voice to be heard, you have to get back out and say, we want Bridgett Whitmore to be the next judge of the 193rd Civil District Court.
Thank you. I appreciate you for coming on the show.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure.
Now we're going to have to get back with Strip.
Hey, that's what I'm interested in.
Strip? Okay, we're going to holler at you guys later. We're going to come back with our next guest, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.